everybody? Welcome to another episode of Damn Fine Meats, and in celebration of Rodney Dangerfield's magnum opus, Meat Wally Sparks, we're doing the Meat Wally Sparks. As you can see, we got our ingredients here. We got beef for a burger, onion, nutmeg, and cinnamon, kosher salt, pepper, two different peach chutneys, one going in as a binder and one going on top of this burger, and also a sweet potato. Sweet potato, we're turning into sweet potato chips to go right on top, because nothing is more country than fried foods. So what we're going to start here is we're going to start by slicing up our sweet potato and getting it into some oil. We're going to fry that up, and we're going to let those cool down. So start here. If you have a mandolin, you can go ahead and just slice this on a thin mandolin. If not, you go ahead and do some fancy knife work. Now, depending on how much you like a chip, you can either go with the thinner side, which will give you a bunch of chips, so nice texture kind of strewn throughout, or if you're just pretty lazy, you could go with the bigger center part and just go maybe two big chips. It's up to you, or you could go with all of them. Realistically, if you're making more than one of these, just go ahead and slice up the whole thing. If you have a mandolin, you could do whatever thickness you like, but you don't want anything horribly thick, because of course you don't want rubbery potato. Real thin, maybe the thickness of a poker card or so. So from here, we're just going to drop these in some oil and let them go. Alright guys, so while those are cooling off in the background, what we're going to do is we're going to take our meat, we're going to add garlic powder, 1/8 of a teaspoon. This right here is 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon and nutmeg, because you want to refine those sweet southern flavors of the South that's in this chutney. You're going to go 1/2 a teaspoon kosher salt, 1/4 teaspoon fresh black pepper. Then we're going to go 2 tablespoons of peach chutney. We're just going to drop that right in there. This is going to be the main flavoring agent of this, because Meat Wally Sparks, for the majority of the movie, takes place in a Southern governor's mansion. And Southern governor in Georgia, nothing says Georgia like peaches. Welcome to the South. Vigorously mix this till we get all these flavors incorporated. You don't want streaks. You want to make sure that they're good and incorporated together. Streaks mean you're going to get an uneven bite, and no one really wants that. You just work that in with your hands. Typically, for a burger, you'd add some egg as a binding agent, but the kind of almost jam-like consistency of this chutney is just going to go ahead and bind that up all on its own. So now that we got that nice and worked in, we're just going to form this into a ball so we could start forming out our patty. You want to consistently keep burger moving, because you don't want it to start kind of cooking with your hands' heat. 98.6 average person's heat. So you just go ahead and keep rolling that like you're rolling a big meatball. You're going to get something about the palm of your hand. And while that's going on, we're just going to go ahead and preheat our pan. Just like in the last couple of videos, we're just going to press this out into a circle, run your thumb along the back in order to make sure you get that even thickness. And if you're having a hard time keeping track of this whole thumb thing, if you go back and watch the previous 2 videos, which are still on the channel, you can see it in even better detail, especially in that Jackie Chan First Strike video. So while that's going on, we got our patty here. We're just going to set that off to the side. What we're going to do is we're going to remove all this stuff, and we'll come back after this pan is heated up, and we'll put it on. We'll show what's going on. Alright guys, so our pan is good and hot. Just like usual, we're going to add a little bit of oil right in the middle. You can hear it sizzling up already. That means we're good to go. Look at that. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to take a sprinkle of kosher salt. We're going to put that right across the top. What this is going to do is going to draw out that moisture, get a good sear. We're going to go over on the side that we've already seasoned. We're just going to drop that right into the pan. Just like the last couple times, it's going to sit here in the pan. And what's going to happen is, because the oil and because of the Maillard reaction that ends up happening. We're going to let that sit, and it's going to form a crust. That is just proteins caramelizing on the outside, and the caramelization process seeps out that liquid, seeps out the water that's within it. So by adding the salt, we're just drawing out that water a little bit faster to where that Maillard reaction doesn't get too black, which you can see in a previous video. Go ahead and let that sit for a minute or two. Probably about a minute because the pan's as hot as we're going right now. You can see you're getting some light brown around the base, around that bottom that's not directly touching the pan. And that's just the transference of heat coming up through there. You're going to wait till you get a little bit of brown, maybe about a quarter way up, a little bit more than a quarter way up, and then we're going to hit the flip. We're going to wait for that to go on. While that's going on, we're just going to grab a little pinch of salt here. While those fries are still a little, while the chips are still a little warm, you're going to want to go ahead and hit a little salt on those and season those up. That's to taste. If you don't like too much salt, you can go ahead and leave the salt off of those. Personally, I like a little bit of salt on my chip, especially because we didn't go heavy seasoning here on the burger. So go ahead and season up your chips. Wait for your burger to come off the flip. Come on back, y'all. You hear? Alright guys, so this right here is the money shot. What we're going to do is we're going to hit a little salt right across the top so when we flip this, we get that nice Maillard reaction on the other side, just like this first side. As you can see, we're taking our spatula, we're going up underneath it. It's already popped off the pan by itself. We're just going to flip that. Nice little bit of darkness around the outside. You got some nice gray coloration, which is the meat inherently cooking upwards. We're just going to let that go for about a minute on this side, and we're coming back to assembly. Alright guys, so what we got here is we're just pulling this burger off. As you can see, it's unstuck from the bottom of the pan. We're just going to let that sit here on a cool surface. While that's going on, we're just going to lower our heat here. And we're going to lower our heat. We're going to get our bun ready. What I want to do is we're just going to take this right into that burger fat, let that soak up some of the juices. We're going to come over here, we're going to grab these chips that have been cooling. Well, we got a little bit of salt on them here. You probably won't be able to pick up the salt that's on them, but we're just going to do a nice bit of chip here. Let that heat up. Then you can remove this out of the way. We're going to move that. And we just want to go ahead and place these chips right on top. As the chips cool down, they're going to get firmer and crisper, stuff like that. And we're just going to take some of our chutney, just kind of spread that right across the top of the chip. Almost sauce it up. Spin those. Make sure you get a pretty consistent beef coating along that top. You see you got some heat going on there. Go burger right there. Bun right there. And there you go. There is the meat. Wally Sparks. Just as southern Georgia as Wally Sparks himself, Rodney Dangerfield. If you like this, come on back. We're doing more movies on the channel. We'll be doing more burgers. Spoilers for next week, there's going to be a fish sandwich. And maybe John Leguizamo? Find how those two are connected. Come on back next time. Have yourself some damn fine meats.